All right, 10.5 composite figures. What are they? They are two or more shapes put together. Typically what you're going to see today is two shapes put together, but sometimes you'll see as many as 3, 4, 5 shapes put together. Okay, but typically what you see are two shapes put together. To figure out the area of composite figures, you need to split your figure up into the basic shapes. Okay, so for example, this one we'd have to split it here. This one we'd have to split it here. So you have to split it up into your two shapes. You're going to find the areas of each shape separately, and then you add or subtract your areas to find the actual area. You will add if you have a shape. So for example, if you have an ice cream cone, that's a shape on top of another shape. That's when you add. Okay? You subtract when you have a shape within a shape, so such as a mirror or a picture frame. Okay, so for this one you would add them together because you set two shapes together. This one you would subtract because you have one shape inside of the other. So ones like this you're going to subtract. Questions on when you add or when you subtract? Does everyone see what I mean about being set together or being one inside of the other? Okay. So, we're going to do our first shape here. This purple one. What is the shape that's on top? It's not a circle. It is a half of a circle. It's a semicircle. So this is half of a circle. Now for a regular circle, the equation is pi r squared. If you have half of one, what are you going to do to your equation? Cut it in half. So you can either multiply by 1/2 or you can divide by 2. What if you had a fourth of a circle? You would divide by 4. Okay? And really those are the only two we get, is the half circle and the quarter of a circle. Okay? Now, when it comes to the area formula for a circle, you need your radius. This says 20 here. Is 20 your radius? No, what's your radius? 10. I think in all of your circle ones today, they always give you your diameter. And so you have to cut that in half so you get 10. So for this, you'd plug into a calculator pi times 10 squared divided by 2, which is 157.1, I believe. Double check that in a calculator. Yep, 157.1. So that's the half circle that's on top. So now we have to find the area of the bottom half of this. What is the shape of the bottom? A trapezoid. Olivia, you got a question? You actually technically don't need parentheses here. The only one you have to have parentheses on is the trapezoid one, where you're adding the B1 and the B2 together. Okay? Yeah. No, you're going to want to plug it in today so that you can actually add these last two pieces. Other questions? Good questions so far. So, trapezoid. The area formula for a trapezoid is 1/2 B1 plus B2 times H. So like Olivia said, which ones need parentheses? The only one that has to have parentheses is your trapezoid one. Okay? That one has to have parentheses. So now we'll plug in what we know. For our trapezoid, B1 is going to be our top, so that's 20. And B2 is going to be our bottom, so that's 32. So we get 1/2 20 plus 32 times the height is 14. equals 364. And now, since these are set together, what are we going to do with the two numbers we found? You're going to add them. So you're going to do 157.1 plus 364, which gets you 521.1. I would like you to try this next one on your own. There is something I need to mention here. The bottom of this triangle shape is not 75. That's the whole thing. If this half of it is 37.5, what can we do to find the bottom of this half? Subtract it. We can do 75 minus 37.5. So go ahead, try that one. Try this one on the right on your own, this yellow shape. All right, so this shape would get split right here, which means that this bottom is 37.5, which you would find by doing 75 minus 37.5. And this side is 46.5, because you would add 22.5 and 24. So now you're finding the area of a rectangle whose base is 37.5, whose height is 22.5. The area of a rectangle is base times height. And so from that, is that the one you get 843 for? 843.75? Then you have to do your triangle that's on the side here. That's 37.5. This is 46.5. This 62.5 is in there to mess you up. We're not going to use it. It has no part in finding the areas. So now we're going to do 1/2 base times height. And when we plug that in, we get 800 and, what do you get from that one? 0.875? 25? 75? So when you add those together, you get the 1,715.625 for your answer. If you said 1,715.6, I would give you the points. The other hour, someone had 0.5. I'd give you the points for that too. Okay, as long as you're close. Now, if you had 1,780, that's not close. But if you're just 1 decimal point off, that's fine. All right, we're not going to do these two. We're going to jump to these ones. Okay? So this is one where you have a shape going into another shape. Okay, so this one looks like cheese. That one's a trapezoid within a circle. Okay, donuts are shapes within shapes. I already said the picture frames. What's another one where it's a shape with a shape inside it? A light switch? Yep, because it has the outside and then, like this one has circles. A cabinet?
Yes, you have a big square.
Got the cabinet and then the shapes inside it, okay? So those are all examples of shapes within shapes. Windows in a wall. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of if we have a shape inside a shape. So we're just probably going to do this one. I always recommend starting out with the bigger the outer shape. So are we going to start with the triangle or the half circle? Triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. In this case, if we turned this triangle, couldn't this be my base and this be my height? Because it's a right triangle. So always think, if I turn this, could I find the area? And this one you can. So I'm going to let my base be 18. and my height be 26. 1/2 of 18 times 26 is 234? No. Yes, 234? Okay. 234. Then you would do your half circle. Okay? The half circle, remember, is 1/2 pi r squared or pi r squared divided by 2, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. This one says this distance is 9. What number do I need to use, though? Not 9. 4.5. And watch out for that on your homework today. It's very common for them to give you the whole, and you need to make it the part. So your radius is 4.5. So this is 1/2 pi times 4.5 squared, which is 31.8. Is that what people are finding? 31.8? So then you would subtract these two because you have a shape within another shape, which gets you 203.2. So if they're on top of each other, you add. Okay? If they're one inside of the other, you subtract. I do something wrong? It's 202? Okay. 202.2. Any questions?